Hi guys, this is Klazart bringing another audio commentary, and this time I'm commentating on Game 2 of the OSL Round of 32 Group D matchup between July and Mind. And this is the matchup in the group that I was looking forward to the most. That being said, the last game was actually quite exciting and caught me completely by surprise. I don't know what it was, but I just was all over the place in that game, but hopefully I'll be a bit more on my game in this one. So I'm looking forward to this game. We all know about Mind. He's the recent MSL champion from not last season but the season before last, and just unfortunately couldn't get through. Even though he was looking decent, he couldn't get through the previous time. Couldn't get through the last time. July, on the other hand, looked like he was making a comeback, but unfortunately for him, he wasn't really able to follow through on that. And every time we watch him play, we hope that he can regain some of his old mastery, but it just doesn't seem to happen. And I'm hoping that he will be able to produce some good performances here. We all know about this map. This is Hwarangdo. It is severely biased against a Zerg player. I personally feel that it's very important for a Zerg to get a spawning pool up and running first on this map, because of the risk of being rushed and the risk of being overrun. July sending a drone out looks like either to scout or do some kind of crazy proxy build. I wouldn't be surprised if he was sending it out to scout, because of the long amount of time it takes for the Overlord to get across this map. It's vital for a Zerg player to scout his opponent and know what's going on and find out if the opponent is going to try and rush him. So personally, I think it's a perfect strategy by July to send this drone out to scout his opponent and know what his opponent is doing and vary his strategy accordingly. And I think July has obviously learned from previous games. He's learned from what his team, what other Zerg players have done, and has adapted his strategy accordingly, and that's why he's decided to spare that drone. And personally, I think it's the perfect strategy. So now he's gone. He's seen the ramp blocked off with the supply depot and the racks with his drone. He can't get in, unfortunately, to get the scout. So he's gonna plop the Hashi down and go for the 12 hatch, because he's seen that there's no proxy racks, there's no proxy rush. So it doesn't matter if the opponent's gone for a rack sword. And July now just trying to harass the SCV. Great play by Mind, pulling the SCV out to keep the drone out and take it out while using a second SCV to build his. And July, interesting enough, taking the extractor. I'm wondering if this is a ploy to get an extra drone, or if he's actually going to take the extractor. Looks like he's actually taking the extractor. He's actually putting that extractor down before he's putting the spawning pool down, which is interesting to say the least. So it'll be interesting what sort of strategy he goes for, whether he tries to get speed upgrade for his Zerglings early on, or if he just wants to get, if he's going to play a 2-hatch lair build. That's one of the things, and July has put that spawning pool down. That's one of the things about July. He's one of the few Zerg players who's really good at playing a 2-hatch game. We saw J-Dong do it a little bit last season as well, but July is really good at it. The other thing that July has actually achieved with that drone is he's occupied Mind's SCV for some time, and therefore delayed his enemy's scout. If he can maybe block his ramp, he would have an even better chance. So Mind is probably going to see that hatchery down, and from seeing the completion state of that hatchery, he'll probably have an idea that July went for the hatchery first. But I still feel that July is in a decent position. I think this is something that Zerg players are going to have to do on this map. They're going to have to, and Mind now actually setting up the factory, so he's looking to, I think, produce a couple of vultures early and try and catch his opponent off guard. And July brilliantly bringing a couple of drones onto his ramp to block the scout from his opponent, and that's the perfect strategy, because now his opponent doesn't know whether he's gone for whether he's gone for just an expo, or whether he's gone for a triple hatchery build, so that's going to be something obviously that's going to be deceiving Mind a little bit. Although Mind probably has an idea from seeing that hatchery being completed that July probably put the spawning pool down after the hatchery. So July already teching to lair. He's definitely going for a 2-hatch build, and his opponent is not going to be aware of this tech. So July, if he can get perhaps Mutalisk out quickly, he might be able to catch his opponent off guard. Mind interestingly enough pulling the second factory down, so Mind going for a 2-fact build, and this map looks like it might produce some interesting strategies. I know we've said before that it's severely unbalanced against Zerg, and that still remains to be seen just how unbalanced or not it is. July now has a couple of Zerglings out. He's got his first few Zerglings out, so Mind will be aware of when that spawning pool went out, because the Zerglings have just now popped out, chasing that SCV away. And it's vital that July doesn't allow Mind to get the scout in, and that's one of the things that Zerg players have struggled to do on this map, to deny the opponent the scout. That's very important, and that was one of the things that Savior failed to do, and July is doing exactly what he needs to do. He's not allowing the opponent to get the scout in, and now he's teching to his tech to lair should be almost complete. It'll be interesting to see whether he goes for the Spire next, and that's what I would guess it would be. July also putting up a creep colony, a sunken, and a very wise move by July to get that, and he gets the drone in again. So July being very aware of his strategy, being very aware of his opponent, getting the drone in onto the ramp to block that SCV. The SCV gets taken off by the Zergling. The SCV dies. Great play by July. Vulture out. I reckon he's probably researching Vulture speed upgrade in that machine shop. And meanwhile, July managed to sneak a couple of Zerglings through. Brilliant by July. Absolute genius play as his opponent lifted up. So July has now seen the 2-factory Vulture build. July has seen it. He's probably going to put an extra sunken down since he's seen that there's going to be a lot of because he needs to make sure that his opponent doesn't get through. So July playing perfect StarCraft here. First of all, sending the drone out to scout and not letting his opponent spring a surprise on him. Had his opponent been trying, and we saw that July took the southern route, so had his opponent put a Rax down there for a proxy rush, July would have stopped him. July immediately doing that. Now that he's seen the 2 factories, he knows that his opponent's going to have quite a few vultures, especially since he's gone for the Spire, and he's going to need those Mutalisks if he's going to win this game. And July brilliantly blocking his ramp. Again, we've seen players make this mistake. We saw Nada, I believe it was, that made a huge mistake in not blocking his ramp versus GG play. Sorry, not Nada. I've actually lost the thread. I think, sorry, it was Jaedong, wasn't it? I'm sorry, I've completely lost track there. But anyway, so July doing everything he needs to do, getting a couple of Zerglings onto the ramp, getting a second Sunken down, playing a perfect game of StarCraft. Meanwhile, it looks like he's gone for Spider Mines first. Mind has got Spider Mines down, so he's planting Spider Mines down, and the Armory now coming up for Mind. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of how Mind copes with this, because I don't think Mind has put the Armory down. He's got the 2 factories. I think he's anticipating the Mutalisk from July Zerg, and I think that's why he's putting that Armory down, because he's anticipating the July Zerg is going to be coming to harass him with the Mutalisk. The question is whether he'll be able to get Goliaths up in time. If he does get those Goliaths out, it will be very difficult for July. So now he's getting the engineering bay up as well. It'll be very difficult for July to actually do significant damage to him. July's got his first group of Mutalisks out. He's still on a 2 hatchery build. Meanwhile, Mind is spreading himself around the map, getting those Spider Mines in. So now he's almost completed his Armory. He's seen those Mutalisks coming, and it's just a question of how much damage. July will get there pretty quickly. He's getting a bunker down as well. Mind getting a bunker down while he's building that expo. So July might be able to slow him down here. And July is taking the opportunity while he's pressuring the opponent to get his 3rd expansion down, and that's perfect play by July. The engineering bay is going to be up definitely, and it's just a question of whether or not he can get any Goliaths out in time. I'm not sure he can. So July has a chance to do great damage to his opponent here. He picks up the SCV before he can complete the bunker. The engineering bay gets down. He picks up a second SCV. July needs to do a lot of damage to his opponent's economy here. He's focusing on the bunker. I think that's a bad idea. He hasn't scouted the Armory, which is why he's focusing on the bunker. So he's effectively giving Mind the time to get those Goliaths out, and that's unfortunate for July. The Goliaths are out. Meanwhile, Vulture's harassing his own expo, and July looks like he's in a little bit of trouble here, because those Goliaths are going to be good against to defend against July. July's actually managed to take off one of the Goliaths. Second Goliath coming under damage. Mind not able to repair it. Brilliant play by July. Meanwhile, Mind has got a turret up in his main to defend, and that bunker does get completed. And I think July wasted a lot of time focusing on that bunker. Meanwhile, looks like I think that expansion's been taken out by the Vultures from Mind. The expansion just north of July's base with Mind's Vultures. So Mind's going to be able to take that out. He's planting Spider Mines all around. He's got a couple of Marines in support. So July's going to lose that expansion. I don't think there's any way he can really save it, because he's focusing all of his resources. He's now brought his Mutalisks back to try and take the Vultures out. So he's actually going to be forced to bring his Mutalisks back, which is going to give Mind time to consolidate and get his expansion up and running. So this seems like a pretty close game so far. I'm not